When we gathered for our last State of the State address in the wake of the Waldo Canyon fire and the Aurora massacre, many of us thought we would never again experience a year like 2012. That was not the case. Every season of 2013 presented another unthinkable test. During the spring, our executive director of the Department of Corrections, Tom Clements, was gunned down in his home. Throughout the summer, wildfires burned the Black Forest, the Royal Gorge, the West Fork, and the Red Canyon. In the fall, we got the flood against a backdrop of politicians in D.C. who couldn't get along well enough to keep the federal government's doors open. In the winter came the reports of a shooter at Arapahoe High School and the heart-wrenching reality that 17-year-old Claire Davis had been fatally shot. This past year, Colorado has been scorched, Colorado has been flooded, Colorado once again endured senseless, inexplicable violence, yet despite all of it, we did not let that define us. That is not our story. Our story and what we showed the world is Colorado does not shut down, Colorado does not quit, Colorado does not break. But make no mistake, the state of Colorado has not only endured, it has thrived. My fellow Coloradans, despite every unforeseen test, everything that was thrown at us, the state of our state is strong. Moving forward, our priorities are clear. We're going to remain focused on jobs, education, ensuring that we have a state that is as healthy as it is fiscally sound. We're going to continue to improve Colorado's customer service and efficiency and support our military families. According to just about every forecast, trend, and study, the state of Colorado is only growing stronger. While the national economy around us remains sluggish, Colorado's unemployment has not gone up. It has gone down to the lowest level since 2008. This is our fourth consecutive year of economic growth. According to a study from the University of Colorado's Leeds School of Business, we can expect robust job growth in virtually every sector of the economy this year. When it came to job growth, in 2010, this state was ranked 40th in the nation. Now, 3 years later, Colorado is the fourth fastest job growth state in the country. 40th to 4th. Since January 2010, we have added 170,000 jobs. In 2010, companies were leaving Colorado. Today, they're moving here. The unemployment rate in Colorado has dropped from 9% in 2010 to 6.5%, outpacing the national rate. Unemployment in both Grand Junction and Greeley has dropped by even more, by more than 30%. But let's be clear, the unemployment rate is not low enough. And all of us, everyone in this room, share a commitment to keep a statewide focus on this issue. More jobs all over Colorado is all of our highest priority. We have reevaluated how every state agency does business, and we have initiated more than 100 new lean processes, more than any state in America. We're lean, but we're only getting started. One of the places where just about all Coloradans frequently become aggravated is at the Department of Motor Vehicles. Our DMV has made great strides, but they've done so with a computer system that is nearly 3 decades old. While many of us play around on our iPhones while waiting in line at the DMV, the employees are struggling to update the files in MS-DOS. Our budget aims to change that. This will reduce the average wait time in DMV offices throughout the state from 60 minutes to 15. Economic development also demands infrastructure. We will propose the formation of a nonprofit enterprise dedicated to fostering public-private relationships to fund infrastructure projects such as transportation and water. This will not only bolster economic development, it will also lighten the burden on taxpayers and harness minds and resources outside of government to address unmet needs and keep Colorado competitive. Such partnerships offer a path towards financing solutions to existing challenges, such as traffic congestion in places like Fort Collins and Colorado Springs. But the single most important investment we can make in infrastructure is in our bridges to tomorrow, our children. we must support effective teachers, students, and parents. We must find a way to address key reforms that have already made Colorado a national model. Colorado's voters made clear they will not make new investments in education until they are convinced that current resources are being prudently managed. We're going to request that the General Assembly fund a plan to make the budget of every public school transparent. Let's put the numbers on the internet and make the web a window. This year, we're seeking an increase in per-pupil funding of $223, for a total of $400 per pupil over the last 2 years. We are also requesting a significant investment in higher education. In recent years, tuition has been steadily increasing by a rate of double digits. Please join me in supporting our request for an additional $100 million for higher education, which would allow us to cap tuition increases at 6% and put college within the reach of more families. Another priority for Colorado families and for us is supporting the energy industry while protecting the environment. Colorado's oil and gas industry contributes $29 billion to our economy. Critical to the success of the oil and gas industry is that operators recognize their moral and legal obligation to protect our air and water. We've said before that we're committed to holding the oil companies to the highest standards to protect Coloradans and our air and water. To that end, we're working with legislators, industry, and the conservation community to ensure we pass a bill this year that will strengthen penalties for violations of permits and rules. Part of what has gotten overlooked in the debate about our guns is our work on mental health. When you look at the massacres at Columbine High School and the Aurora Movie Theater and the tragedies of Platte Canyon High School and most recently at Arapahoe High School, guns are only a piece of the puzzle. Another clear piece is mental health, trying to identify and assist those who are feeling isolated, bullied, the mentally ill, and trite as this may sound, those who are feeling abandoned and unloved. We allocated more than $30 million to create and bolster programs such as school-based mental health services, behavioral health community centers, and to train and staff round-the-clock mental health crisis centers. We repurposed Fort Lyon, where right now there are some 80 people with addictions who are getting clean, learning a skill, and turning their life around. People who otherwise would have been on the street. Just as we must implement the voters' wishes on marijuana, we're obligated to make sure that parents and children understand brain development and the risks of underage use. We are committed to securing a safe, regulated, and responsible environment. This is going to be one of the great social experiments of this century. And while not all of us chose it or supported it, being first means that we all share a responsibility to do it properly. The General Assembly, with bipartisan support, created Connect for Colorado. While other states have struggled with enrollment and implementation, Colorado has outperformed the national exchange in most states. More than 139,000 residents now have health insurance who didn't have it before. In addition to being the healthiest state, we have consistently worked to be the most military-friendly state. We must continue to honor military veterans. Whether we live in a mountain community or in a city, whether we're surrounded by cows or by concrete, we all want the same things: the chance to earn a good wage, give our children a decent education, clean air, and clean water. Vigorous debate is our ally. Partisanship is not. Skepticism is productive. Corrosive cynicism is not. So as we begin this session, my ask is that we try to ignore divisive politics. Inexplicable, senseless violence, fires, floods. No, that's not our story. Our story is about how we came together and have been getting it done. Our story is that we have learned that we are at our best, that Colorado is at her best when we are connected to one another, working together. Our story is us. That is what it means to be a Coloradan. That is what we have and will continue to show the world. I'm all in. To keep Colorado strong and keep Colorado united, all of us in here, and all of our fellow Coloradans out there, every one of us needs to be all in, together. Thank you, and God bless Colorado.